Hi everybody, Catfish Jones here. It is a wonderful Tuesday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. Gonna drive home from work. Figured, heck, why not talk while I drive? This is what I like to call car talk with Catfish. Some of you guys have seen these before. But the most dangerous part I find is getting out of the parking lot because you have pedestrians navigating very close to moving vehicles. And the place that I work is in the back of a parking lot of a truck stop. So I leave our parking lot and go through a whole other parking lot full of semi-trucks. Makes it very interesting, but I have matriculated myself through the maze, and I'm ready to get on some proper roads. Hi everybody, Catfish Jones here. Did want to thank everybody for joining me in this type of content, and remind everybody that if you do enjoy this content, please do leave a like, consider subscribing, and maybe even share it on whichever social media you prefer. I think I still have a Twitter, but I'm not at all active on it. Every once in a while I might shoot something out. Been on minds.com quite a bit lately, trying to do regular posts, not exactly daily, but semi-regular. Posting some stuff, random pictures and things that I take. And in fact, one of those turned into tiny painting a couple weeks ago. Very interesting. It's I guess similar to Facebook, but not exactly like Facebook. And as you know, I don't voluntarily play in the Facebook game field, but I understand most of the world does, either on Facebook or Insta. So me personally, I had to draw the line at some point, and it was a very difficult decision at that point to not do Facebook anymore. But once you make the decision and you bail, the hard part's over, you know? So I don't really miss it. I don't lay awake thinking about it. But part of what led me to that decision to break away from Facebook, even though I wasn't really that interested in using it, it's a great tool to communicate with a wider audience and see, you know, your content spread to people you may know or not know. Everybody you knew from high school, if you're in my age range. It's like my whole senior class I was able to reach out to, and some of them I know did interact with my content. Doing the roundabout carousel here. We'll get up on there pretty soon. Yes, the Facebook, because part of what led me to the Facebook, and it, you know, I wasn't a big fan of getting on there, but I did see the need for it, so I figured I would let that justify my being on Facebook. But early on, I was not that big of an adopter of Facebook. I did use MySpace a good little bit, which I know dates me as well. Was fond of the MySpace a little bit. Our band at the time was called Sons of Truckers. And really, until MySpace began failing to reproduce the music that was saved on it, it was still a valid place to listen to old Sons of Truckers songs. But Facebook is a different monster completely. And Insta is a Zuckerberg thing. Although with Instagram, I was never even kind of an adopter. That was one, at least every instance I tried to interact with Instagram, it was totally managed by phone. And that was not an option for me. Not at all. Because, I like to be a little protective with my data. I can only control so much of it. Can only control so much of it, and you can't stress about what you can't control. But that which I can control, I prefer to. And a lot of that goes back into my kind of interest. I don't really want to say conspiracies, because I think that's a very overused term that has a lot of straw people built around it. Lots of meanings that don't really mean what it seems to mean, but the public consciousness begins to think that if you think that, then you think all these other things as well. To me, I really do like to speculate about possibilities, about if the things we were told to take for granted are actually truths, or just easy things for our teachers to teach us. Which, I guess the root of it is based in my desire to question everything. Question most of the things that I hold closest. Because what if I'm wrong? What if I have just taken those things for granted and just believed the people who told me? People who I don't think would intentionally lie to me, but might have themselves been fooled. So you dig, and you question things, and you come to conclusions, and you say, wow, I don't know if I want to keep going down that path based on these conclusions I've come to. And you continue to examine more information as it becomes relevant and available, and conclusions can certainly be changed, updated, a lot easier than beliefs can. So on my quest to question everything, certainly the Facebook came into the crosshairs, and my delving on that topic led me to, I guess, minimize what usage I have to have in a modern world like today. And many other things. There's some other things that, are interesting to question when you really start digging into it. It seems like some of the places that people go first involve, like, flat Earth and stuff like that. A lot of people go into space aliens. And, of course, paranormal. And all of those, I feel like, for me, I've questioned those. I haven't found satisfying answers to lead me to continue to question those. So I've moved on to other things. Paranormal, my worldview makes it very difficult to allow for paranormal. There's a lot of other explanations, Occam's razor kind of thing, where there's a lot more simpler explanation than just ghosts or spirits, demons, or what have you. Some of those, I guess, is the potential extra dimensionality of life. And because that is an unresolved question, I can't necessarily scratch that off, but I can certainly relegate conclusions of paranormal into things that I don't quite understand in my current worldview. And everything else, like Flat Earth is one that a lot of people go to when they begin questioning everything. It seems like a very easy place to go to. There's a lot of information out there. But it's also a pretty big leap into the speculative theories avenue. You certainly have to, suggest some degree of government cover-up on a massive scale, which is always difficult to reconcile. You have to also suggest some type of disbelief in currently held theories on space and time, which are certainly worth questioning in their own rights, and they're giant topics on their own. But to conclude a resolution to get you to flat Earth is quite a big jump. And ultimately, to me, flat Earth was settled a very long time ago. Even concave Earth or hollow Earth. Hollow Earth is a different thing completely. I don't like to lump it into the thing, but it has a lot of the same roots for me, in that it was resolved science some time ago based on repeatable experiments that we can do ourselves to test the theoretical laws of spherical Earth. And that to me is enough. But it also, when you talk about flat Earth, you go into questioning the Antarctica situation, which is a huge thing in itself. And you have to make these huge jumps just to go to this other one. And to me, all of those things individually are huge rabbit holes to dig into. So, lots out there. I encourage anybody to question the life around them and the reality that we live in. What's told to us is real. Sometimes those things aren't quite as they appear. What was the old adage? Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm going to leave it right here. Again, if you guys have any ideas of things that maybe I should question, leave them in the comments below. If you have your opinions on some of the things I touched on here, please leave those in the comments as well. If you just want to have a conversation about some weird, wacky stuff, I'm always down. In the comments below. Until I see you guys again, be well and cheers.